Welcome to the Psychology of True Crime with me, RC. In today's case, we are going to be covering the disappearance of Jack and Lily Sullivan, a psychological mystery. Inside a modest home on Gerlach Road, 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother, Jack Sullivan, were said to be playing together, as they often did, inseparable, full of imagination, and completely unaware of the growing storm that was about to engulf their names across Canada and the world for that matter. By the afternoon on May the 2nd, 2025, both children had vanished. No sound, no struggle, no witnesses. When officers from the RCMP arrived, they were met with a silence that felt impossible to explain. Two small children, seemingly erased from the world. Search teams flooded the woods. Helicopters scanned from above. Drones mapped every inch of the terrain. Hundreds of volunteers combed through fields. But days turned into weeks, and not a single trace of Lily and Jack were ever found. From a psychological lens, cases like this are almost unbearable, not just for the family, but for everyone involved. Children at ages of 4 and 6 are in a stage of are in a stages of innocence, of independency. They don't just disappear without someone noticing. Their vulnerability activates something primal in all of us, a deep need to protect, to make sense of chaos, and to know. For the parents, this is called ambiguous loss. It's not life, it's not death. It's a haunting uncertainty that consumes every waking moment. Every knock on the door, every phone ring could be the one. But as days pass, hope does diminish. Therefore, investigators face their own psychological battles. With every lead that fades, the mind begins to search for patterns, sometimes creating things that none really exist. Behavioral specialists are brought in, polygraph tests were administered, and quiet questions began, began to circle around. Was this an accident, or was it something darker? The behavioral science group studies every interaction, every contradiction, every hesitation, because when two small lives vanish without a trace, someone usually knows more than they're saying. When the community fractures, this becomes more than a mystery. It becomes a collective trauma. In communities like this, everyone knows everyone. And when answers don't come, suspicion fills the void. Rumors spread faster than evidence. Social media became a battlefield. Theories, accusations, even fake fundraisers, and false sightings. In psychology, this is called closure anxiety. This is when people can't handle uncertainty. They invent certainty, even if it's wrong. The family, under a microscope, grieved in public. Every expression was dissected. They were too calm, they're too sad, they're too quiet, they're too public, and so forth. The trauma does not follow a script. Sometimes people freeze, sometimes they disassociate, sometimes they're just simply trying to survive the unbearable weight, whether their children are alive or gone. So, this brings us to the unanswered questions. Nearly 6 months later, despite drones, dogs, divers, hundreds of interviews, there are still no remains, no signs of struggle, no explanations. And in the vacuum, psychology meets the unknown. Did two children simply wander off and vanish into the wilderness? Could the environment, thick woods, or rivers conceal such a tragedy for this long? Or is this something human, deliberate, concealed, and waiting to be uncovered? The mind cannot rest until it finds meaning. And that's the cruelest part, because until the truth emerges, the story of Lily and Jack Sullivan lives will live in the suspended space between logic and horror, hope and despair. And so we ask, if two children can disappear without a trace, without a single witness, what else can vanish right before our eyes and we just don't see it? I hope that the YouTubers continue with the great work that they've done covering this case, and I'm going to keep on case to see some sort of a closure come about. Thank you for watching and being here with me. Until next time.